Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius and Charles, because today's the 24th of October, 2023. So, yep, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we go further, as always, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us, guys. So, yep, feel free to visit us here on easymarkets.com. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. So, without further ado, let's jump into the charts. I'll try to be quicker this time because yesterday I think it went a little bit overboard. I went a little bit overboard with my webinar. So yes, I'll try to stick to my hour and yeah. Look, we're having a nice, beautiful rebound. So yesterday we saw a decline. Look, in general, everything worked out nicely because of what I said to you before, that if we do fall and stay below that 200-day EMA, my next target is the 30,558. And if that gets cleared, then is the 30,293. Perfect hit here of this 30,558. Beautiful rebound. And I would say there is hope that actually the market could recover and push, higher. However, let's not rush into things because first of all, from the technical perspective, we're seeing, yes, the index pushing back above the 200-day EMA. But also keep your eyes on that 31,133 zone right here, which so far is doing a good job providing good resistance. If we do climb above it, then we'll consider a larger correction to the upside, because don't forget that we are still below the downside line here, the short-term tentative downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 12th of October. So in other words, this could still be the case. So like I said, let's not rush into things. Let's go slowly on everything and with everything. And yes, today we did get the BOJ core CPI number, which came out much better than the forecast and the previous in Japan. Manufacturing PMI, preliminary PMIs did come out lower, so yep, still in contraction territory. Other Japanese data to watch probably tomorrow, but nothing major. Yes, I think that it's going to be a little bit on the quiet side for Japan, apart from, according to the economic calendar, we do get the Tokyo core and headline CPI figures on Friday. So maybe that could give it a little bit of a boost, but I think that mainly those numbers will be overshadowed by other figures and more. So yeah, for now, let's see how Nikkei is going to react to the European and US indices movements. China 50. So we are still below this 11,728 zone. So as I said to you before yesterday, that as long as we remain below that territory, then yes, I'll continue targeting the downside. Now, so far, this idea is still valid. China 50 index is struggling to kind of find a boost, which could, lift it up a little bit here. So, look, if we, by any chance, let's say, push back above the 11,821 territory right here, then yes, I'll consider a larger correction to the upside towards this downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 1st of August, ASX 200. So, ASX 200 is, it's a bit of a mess here. So we did drift further south. We did create a new low for this year. And we've tested the area around here. Let me just grab a magnet here just a second. So we've grabbed this 6,806 zone. So good potential target. Now a new one, I would say, because let's say like this way, if you want to go further south, then a drop below that hurdle is needed. Now, in terms of, let's say, higher levels, well, this is where the issue is. Now, I don't have really like a strong area which I really like here for the upside. Maybe just for that extra confirmation, a push above the 6,900 zone might do the trick here for a few more buyers on the ASX 200. So in other words, let me just grab this highlighted zone here. This is the territory, so maybe this could be an interesting one to watch. So if we do pop above the 6,900 zone, then yes, I will consider a larger correction to the upside, because don't forget that we're now trading below a few of these trend lines. So yep, for now, I mean, this is the most obvious scenario for now. Look, in terms of economic data from Australia, today we got the also preliminary Judo Bank preliminary manufacturing PMI figures, and together with the same preliminary services PMI. Those came out on the lower side, especially the services one, because that one got into contraction territory. So there was no initial forecast, but the number did come out in contraction. So yeah, that's not very good. However, we're seeing some positivity here, maybe just because the stock market is in the US is kind of, we're seeing the futures kind of rebounding a little bit. And look, at this point, I think like that bad news is good news, because again, every single moment when we get like crappy numbers, I think that the market sees that as a positivity, because it's pushing the interest rate hike talks further away. So you know, and that's why, of course, in the long run, long or medium term, longer term, you know, it's not good. Of course, that's understandable, but in the short run, I think that the market is taking any negative news, like relating what could cause, you know, inflation, or what could boost inflation, you know, or what relates to inflation, you know, every economic data that comes out on the lower side, then yeah, it's taking it as a positive, and we're seeing some, you know, nice activity. But again, that, of course, that will end eventually, because the market does adjust. So at this point, we're just trying to capture what we can. And in this case here on ASX 200, I would say, yes, if you're looking for some lower levels, then wait for a drop below the 6,806 territory in order to go further south. Dow Jones Industrial Average, and before I go into that, good morning in the chat room. Good morning, everyone. There we go. So look, yesterday, my idea worked out nicely, the short-term idea, because of what I said to you yesterday, that if we do fall below the 33,229, my next target is the 33,021 zone. And look at this beautiful test. Honestly, picture perfect. What's next? Well, first of all, let's quickly mark this territory right here. This arrow can go. If we are looking for some higher levels within this formation, because don't forget that we're now in this kind of descending triangle pattern in a way. So yeah, just kind of be cautious, because again, we could be moving around here inside the pattern. But if you're looking for some lower levels, I think at this point it's reasonable to say that a drop below the 33,000 territory would be required, and not only drop, but also the body of the daily candle staying below that in order to go, yes, further excuse me, further south. In terms of the upside, I will start shifting my attention to some higher levels. If we do start climbing back above the 33,229 territory, then it's the 33,366, and then so on and so on, aiming potentially towards this downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 15th of September. If that gets broken, the next target are the EMAs right here, and then we'll just go from there. Look, in terms of economic data from the US today, we do get the preliminary services, manufacturing, and composite PMIs. At the moment, the forecasts are all on the lower side. So, yeah. And as I'll repeat myself again, if the numbers come out lower, maybe the bad news will be, like I said, seen as a good news. But again, don't take my word for that. I would rather wait for the numbers to come out first and then do something about it. So, but to keep that idea in the back of our heads, yes, we can. So like I said, let's see how this is going to play out today. So if we do somehow climb back above the 33,229 territory and we stay above it, then yes, I'll consider maybe a larger correction to the upside, because let's not forget, maybe, or where's that one? Where's that Fibonacci? Maybe we have ourselves here something like that, or we could have ourselves something like that. Still, there is room for a move towards that 23.6. Again, I'm not saying that this is like a guaranteed thing. No, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is for sure. But definitely, for me personally, I would like to start examining the upside from around here somewhere. I'll get rid of this Fibonacci just because it's a little bit in the way, too many lines. Let's have the chart clean and tidy. The S&P 500, also beautiful test of this 4,235 territory, also something that I mentioned yesterday. But I said to you that I need to see a drop, and I need to see not only this false breakout, I need to see the body of the daily candle staying below that 4,235 territory. If we get that, then great, I'll go for some higher levels. For the upside, now previously I talked about this 4,300 zone, and I think I will still do, but just for that, like, kind of to start, let's say, considering slightly higher levels from a little bit earlier, maybe, or should I say this larger correction to the upside earlier, then yes, if we do push back above the 4,280 zone, then yep, I will consider a larger maybe correction to the upside. So this high of yesterday on the futures here is something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Then of course the 4,300 zone, and then so on and so on. Nasdaq 100, also the same story. Look, I mean, yesterday we cleared this territory. This is 14,600 zone, but that's fine. Look, it's not really doing much. I mean, it's still we kind of reversed back up. We didn't really reach the 200-day EMA, unfortunately, but that's fine. That's okay. Maybe this breakout to the downside will be ready when, let's say, this 200-day EMA approaches this 14,600 zone. So, yeah. That's why at the moment I think everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen further. Look, in the US, just let me open that earnings calendar. As you know, this week we do have a crazy calendar in terms of earnings, in terms of companies from the US which are delivering. So watch out for market opens and market closing times, especially after hours, because again, a lot of companies delivering in the after the trading session is closed. For example, today we do have an eventful day on the economic calendar. So we do have Microsoft, Google, Visa, Coca-Cola, Texas Instruments, Verizon, General Electric, Nextera Energy, Chubb, Waste Management, 3M, General Motors. I mean, Halliburton. I mean, the list goes on and on. Today is, like I said, this week is gonna be grand. I mean, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see. So today, like I said, we do have from the kind of the top tech guys, top tech firms, Microsoft and Google, and then some other one, and all those other ones that I just kind of mentioned. So keep your eyes on the, like I said, on the opening and closing times of the U.S. sessions. This is where we could see some nice action. So yeah, just bear with me one moment. So yeah, my voice is going down today a little bit. So yeah, apologies for that. Look, so yeah, that's the game plan in terms of the upside on the on Nasdaq. I would actually wait for a break of this downside line drawn from the high of the 12th of October. If that happens, then yes, more buyers here could join it. The German index, DAX. Look, the German index did have a nice good push to the downside. So yes, I mean, now we're seeing a bit of recovery, which is fine as well. And the futures, by the way, these are the futures, not the cash index, the future. So look, if you're willing to consider some higher levels, then I would say wait for a break of this downside line. Now, look, I do have this little hurdle, this 14,873 territory, which so far is providing good resistance. If we do climb above it and stay above it, then maybe we'll see a larger correction here to the upside towards this downside line right here. And yes, then we'll just kind of take it from there. In terms of the downside, I would say I would like to see a drop below this 14,714 territory in order to go lower, but we do have a lot of territory here, so let's say I'm kind of leaning a little bit more for a move higher, like a retracement. But again, look, the market doesn't always give me what I wanted to see, so I'm just gonna go slowly. I'm gonna have a pragmatic approach here, and I'm gonna wait for, first of all, a stronger push, and a body of the daily candle staying above the 14,873 territory, and then I will aim for this downside line, which if it gets broken, then yes, great, more buyers could join in. In terms of European data today, we don't have much. We only have the GF key German consumer climate, which came out right now, and it actually, that one disappointed again. It came out at minus 28.1 against the expected minus 26.6. So yeah, that's not good. We do have later on the German manufacturing PMIs and the German services PMIs, and the same German composite PMIs, preliminary ones. So maybe we could see a bit of movement there. So just keep that in mind. Now, coming back to the indices, the FTSE 100, let's have a look at that one. So far from the technical perspective, this one, it continues to trade below the 7,400 zone. So yesterday, and I already talked about this for a while, I said that if we do drop and stay below the 7,400 zone, then yes, I will go towards that 7,326, and then maybe towards that upside support line drawn from the low of the 20th of March. And then we'll just go from there. So at this point, long story short, I'm leaning towards the downside as long as we remain below the 7,400 zone right here. And then, yes, I'll continue targeting my 7,326 and then so on and so on. But for the upside, now previously, yesterday, I've mentioned the 7,528 territory, but I think it's time for me to redraw a few things. For example, this upside line, make it as a downside one. And I would say if you're looking for some higher levels, you're looking for, let's say, a retracement back up, I would start looking at this from the 7,423 territory. If we climb back above it, we might start using our Fibonacci levels again, and potentially targeting the 23.6 initially, and then the 38.2, and so on and so on. But again, let's not rush into things. For now, all eyes are on this little territory right here. If we stay below it, yes, I'll continue targeting the downside. If we do climb above it, then yes, I will consider maybe a bit of a larger correction to the upside. So let's jump into the US dollar, guys. There we go. Boom. Fantastic. Fantastic. I talked about this. If you remember, I said to you yesterday that I'm watching this little range where we were sitting at, and I said to you, I need to see a clearance of one of these levels. I was talking about this already from last week, so there we go. I got that move. I got that drop below the 105.75 territory. I've tested the 50-day EMA together with the 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci. So now my question is, can we see a further decline? And if we do drop and stay below the 23.6 here and this 50-day EMA, then yes, guys, I am targeting my 100-day EMA here, which is currently around that 104.40 zone, or ideally the 38.2% retracement. Maybe, just maybe, by the time that it could travel here lower, the 200-day EMA could approach this 38.2 and then kind of coincide with it and then basically become a fantastic area of support. But again, let's not rush into things, guys. For now, yes, the US dollar looks a little bit on the weaker side. Maybe we could get a little rebound here or something like that. But at the moment, yes, one part of the mission is complete here, which I said that I'm aiming for that 23.6. Now the question is, can we get a drop below that? Gold. So of course the weaker dollar could play out nicely here for gold and for my idea, which I'm still sticking to, because look, I'm still aiming for that psychological 2000 mark, and for that one I need to see it push above this highlighted zone right here. Let me just get rid of this Fibonacci. I no longer need it. So I need to see a push above this 1982, 1987 territory, or this area between those. So in other words, let's put it this way, 1987 is the one that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. If we do climb above it, I'll go higher towards my psychological 2000 mark. In terms of the downside, not only that I need to see a break of this upside line, but because I don't kind of really think that a break of the steep upside line could kind of do something like straight away, but it would be the first step of maybe examining the downside. But ideally, I think I would like to see a drop below this little hurdle. Let me just put this on the chart. I think no. Let me just so let me just grab this one. This needs to go. This needs to be cleared. This is what I'm trying to mark here. So let's do that. Yep, and there we go. There we go. And looking at the picture here. So yes, basically a drop below the 1962-64 territory is something that I'm keeping a close eye on. If we do drop below that, then yes, I will consider a move to the downside. Silver is clearing now this upside line, and the question is now for me, will we actually drop back below the EMAs? Now I think that this upside line needs to go, and it's kind of in a similar way as with the with gold, because maybe this steep upside line, it looks good for now, but maybe it's not going to carry much significance as well here. So as you can see in silver, it stopped carrying significance, so let me just get rid of it. And it doesn't mean that suddenly, oh, that's it, we're becoming very bearish or something. No, we're still above all of the EMAs on my daily chart. So I'm kind of weighing that one. I'm putting more weight on that one. And yes, if I want to see some, let's say, if I want to see some higher levels, then there is still a chance of getting that, as long as we remain above all of my EMAs here on the daily chart. And then I'll target this downside resistance line right here. So yes, then the question is, if we do fall below the 200-day EMA and 100-day EMA, can we consider the downside? Well, yes, for sure. I mean, I will aim for the 50-day EMA initially. Maybe that will provide good support. But if that gets cleared, certainly, yes, further declines here are possible. We could see maybe a larger correction to the downside. So as much as I would like to draw right now the Fibonacci, which I will draw for now, but look, maybe it's not actually going to be here. Maybe it's somewhere like later. We need to draw this one. So for now, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to focus on my EMAs instead. Oil, there we go. We're drifting nicely to the downside. We fell below that 88 territory and we stayed below it. So in a way, this kind of worked out nicely so far, because yesterday, look, I talked about this and I said to you that as long as we remain below that 88 zone, yes, my next target will be the 50-day EMA, and If that gets cleared, then yes, my next target is this upside line. So far, so good. Half of the mission is complete. Now, let's see if the other half will work out. So this is my target. This is my upside line drawn from the low of the 6th of October, which I'm targeting as long as we remain below the 50-day EMA. In terms of the upside, now, look, I do have a bunch of levels here and lines, so I think that some of them need to go. Maybe this one can be redrawn and actually marked somewhere around here. So this 85.60 zone is something that I'm keeping a close eye on. So just for that extra confirmation, I mean, nothing major. And I'm not saying that this is the most critical level ever. No, just for that extra, because we dropped below the 50-day EMA and, we could bounce around here a little bit. So maybe given that this area is somehow doing a good job and providing good support right now, maybe if we do drop below it, yeah, this could start clearing that path towards lower levels. Natural gas, there we go. So natural gas is, yes, still on the move to the downside. Still, we're considering, or should I say I'm considering lower levels. Yeah, for now, let's put it this way. If we continue to trade below that 50-day EMA, then the next target is the 100-day EMA, which coincides currently with this 2.825 territory, approximately around here, near my upside support line. So in general, what we're seeing right now is a part of the larger correction to the downside before another possible leg of buying. But again, will that happen? We'll have to just wait and see. We need to see what's going to happen with this upside line. If that gets clear, then yes, lower levels could be met. Cocoa, something that we forgot to look, or should I say I forgot to look at, and it's really, it seems like it could be presenting itself with a nice opportunity. Look, in general, the fundamentals behind cocoa is that we are suffering right now, or should I say the world is suffering because cocoa producers are suffering because, like, I can't remember, like, was it like 1/4 or 1/3 of all the trees are sick, are not, let's say, are damaged, and basically that is threatening the supply of cocoa, guys. So enjoy your chocolate while you can. Let's put it this way. If you like that one, and also I would say enjoy your coffees as well while you can, because again, eventually I think that we might get to this point where going further in life, we might start seeing these problems. So if you suddenly see an increase in price of, let's say, chocolate or coffee, then don't be surprised. Not only that it's inflation, and actually, to be honest, it's not inflation. Inflation is going down right now. It's mainly the problems of supply. So yes, looking at the cocoa thing here, chocolate, no, coffee is still kind of okay, but chocolate is the one that, or sorry, chocolate, coffee, cocoa. Honestly, cocoa is the one that we are kind of really concerned about. So again, at the moment we are near this key resistance barrier, near the 3,763. Can it go further south? Well, it sure can, but again, don't get me wrong, at some point it will have to stop here a little bit and slow down. So maybe, something like this here could be considered. But in general, all these lines are going to be, whatever trend line I'm going to draw right now, they're all going to be a little bit on the tentative side. So I'm going to draw this one. It's a tentative one. I'm going to draw that one. It's going to be a tentative one. So all of them are tentative. So maybe we'll draw this one instead here. Maybe this one will be a little bit better. So in other words, we could be forming a possible ascending triangle pattern. But again, let's not rush into things. Let's see if this is gonna play out nicely here, if we can see a further move north. If we do clear this, of course, this opens the door towards that psychological 4,000 mark. Now, of course, everybody's talking about Bitcoin, and most importantly, Bitcoin ETF. So the market right now, the crypto world is back alive, and of course you can see these moves here. And yes, yesterday I talked about this, and I said to you that I'm going to be aiming for this 31,837. Boom, looking good. Okay, this chart needs to be redrawn because we are, yes, we're pumping higher. And let me just get rid of all the drawings in general. Before I get rid of all the drawings, I want to say that the idea worked out nicely here. So basically I am, yes, I am very, very happy with this. So let's see what we can do now. Again, first of all, let me just see this one. First of all, let me just put this barrier back on the table. 31,837, something that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. Then I'm going to keep an eye on this this area of support here, but that's something for later on. Certainly, if you want to draw a trend line, we could maybe draw something from around here, drawn from the low of the 30th of December. And the question now is, are we actually aiming for something around here for the 40,000 mark, or maybe above that? So yes, I mean, that's something that I will be keeping a close eye on. So yes, like I said, the 40,000 territory is now becoming a reality as long as we remain above the 31,837 territory, approximately around here, guys. So this is going to be my little barrier. So as long as we remain above it, yes, I will continue targeting the upside. So basically, in other words, something like this. Even if we do retrace a little bit back down, so yep, there is, like I said, as long as we remain above this territory, then yes, I will continue aiming to the upside. Look, this correction here might not even happen. We could just continue rallying on this whole hype thing, you know, so on this whole Bitcoin ETF hype. So, you know, at this point, like I said, I'm applying technical analysis on this, and if we do fall back below the 31,837 territory, I will consider a larger correction here to the downside. Ethereum, this one's another one. Look, oh, and by the way, I'm just curious, Bitcoin or Ethereum? Bitcoin, let's examine the periods. Let's see who made the most. Let's say we'll take from the beginning maybe of October, something like that. Let me just see. Actually, let's put from the lowest point of October to the current highest point of October. Let's see. So Ethereum, Bitcoin made around 34% from the lowest point of October. Let's see, Ethereum made around 22%. Okay. So that's interesting. Okay, so Bitcoin is still the more popular one. Now, with Ethereum, again, similar story. Look, in general, everything's working out perfectly. I said to you that if we do break this downside line, I will aim for the upside. And there we go. Look, I didn't know that this, you know, we could have such hype, such, you know, big hype again. But in general, I would say this way: I applied technical analysis on this one, and it worked out nicely. So it does still technical analysis. Yes, it goes hand in hand with fundamentals. That's for sure. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. And like I said, now my next target is, as long as we remain above the 1775 territory right here somewhere, my next target will be somewhere around here initially, the 1878 zone, something like that. Maybe 1888, something as well. So 1877, 1888. So this is what I'm going to be targeting first. Ideally, I have this key resistance barrier, this 20,000, oh, sorry, 20,000, 2020, 2030. And then we'll take it from there. So for now, long story short, as long as we remain above the 1774, 75 territory right here, then yes, I'll continue targeting the upside. In order to consider the downside on this one, well, this is where I need to get rid of this downside line, no longer needed. And if we do fall back below the, let's say, the 200-day EMA, maybe I will get a little bit more excited with the larger correction to the downside here. Ripple, just a quick one update up there. Quick update. So yes, we are near my upper side of the range, so that's good. But now we are retracing. But as you can see, Ripple is not the most exciting one, just because this one continues with its SEC problems. Honestly, like SEC is still on the trying to prosecute someone in the crypto world, you know. So yeah, I mean, Ripple is the victim right now, so that's why we're not seeing major action. And I'll stick to my game plan. I need to see a clearance of the upper side of this range in order to go higher. Dogecoin. So this one, there we go. Beautiful, fantastic. And what can I say? Mission accomplished. Because yesterday I said to you this, that if we do clear this downside line and we clear this 50-day EMA, and if you, like I said, you can watch the video yesterday. I said my next target will be this 0.00642 tick. And then I said if that gets cleared, my next target is the 200-day EMA. I don't have a specific level, but I have this 200-day EMA. Tick. Mission accomplished. Fantastic. Now, I'm going to chill. I'm going to relax here. And if, let's say, we do see a correction back down here, as long as we stay above the 100-day EMA, yes, there could be more upside to come. But look, even if it's not going to retrace back down, what you can just basically keep an eye on that 200-day EMA. Maybe that will, you know, give us some opportunities here for the upside. And also, if you're looking for some levels or something, this 0.0686 territory is a good one to watch, because it coincides nicely with the 200-day EMA. And if that gets cleared, then yes, I will go further north, potentially aiming for this little hurdle, this little territory here, this 0.0771 or 0.0775. Good potential target. Let's wait and see. Now let's jump into a few pairs, guys. AUDUSD pushing nicely to the upside. Well, guess what? Because of this fella right there, which I talked about already. So we're seeing weakness in the dollar, and we're seeing a push higher here on AUDUSD. Now, am I getting very comfortable with the upside? No, not yet. Because what? Why? Because I need to see a break of this downside line. Simple as that. If I do get that clearance, wonderful. I'll go higher. But then, oh, no. Let's get rid of this. But then I will target the upside, further upside, if we do push above the 50-day EMA, which, to be honest, something gives me a hint that maybe by the time this could travel higher, maybe the 50-day EMA could approach this barrier, the 0.6393 territory, coincide with it, and this could become a very nice barrier for some upside. So if that gets cleared, then yes, higher levels could be met. For the downside, a drop below the 0.6285 territory is required, and if we do fall below that, then yes, more sellers here could join in. AUDNZD. There we go. So, okay, I have to admit that it didn't work out exactly as I wanted, because I said to you yesterday, look, we are considering maybe a bit of a retracement. We have this 200-day EMA, which I would say kind of we came very close to that, tested the area near that 200-day EMA, and then we rebounded. I previously, and then I said to you yesterday that if we do fall below that 200-day EMA, then my next target is the 100-day EMA, not far from that 23.6, which, okay, we didn't go there. That's fine, because we didn't break the 200-day EMA. We just kind of rebounded from here. And then I said to you that, look, maybe we'll go higher straight away. And we just, if we do pop above this 1.0846 territory, then yes, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high and potentially attract more buyers into the game. And so far, so good. We are pushing higher. Currently we still remain above this hurdle, above this 1.0846. If we continue to trade above that, then yes, I'll go further north. Now, in terms of the downside, well, I think that this game plan is still valid. I need to see a drop below that 200-day EMA, and then we'll go from there. NZD CHF, beautiful action here. We're rebounding from this highlighted zone, so that's fine. I need to get rid of this arrow, no longer needed. In general, I think I'm going to get rid of this downside line. I'm going to redraw it, and I'm going to use it this way. So I'm going to draw a downside line drawn from the high of the 24th of January. If we continue to trade above that, then yes, then yes, more buyers here could join in. Oh, just moved it out of here. No, let's bring it back. So look, if we do break this downside line, then certainly yes, more buyers could join in. But I get it, we're missing out on a lot of territory here. So let's try to maybe squeeze something out of this. If we do climb back above, and not this upside line, actually, I'm gonna get rid of it. If we do climb back above this little hurdle right here, this 0.53 territory, then yes, I'll consider a larger correction to the upside. For the downside, I would like to see a drop below the 0.5190 in order to go lower. If we do if we do drop below that area, then yes, potentially more sellers here could join in. So that's why we keep on watching this pair. We are at a very interesting spot for the downside scenario, not for the upside scenario yet. So for the downside scenario, yes. So let's see if that's going to work out. If it doesn't, while we remain in here, I'm just going to observe the price action and not going to do anything. USDJPY, there we go. We're getting that clearance of this upside line, but I have to admit that this upside line is not maybe drawn correctly. So let's put it this way. I think that it's a tentative upside line, don't get me wrong, drawn from the low of the 31st of July. So we're capturing this swing here, this big drop, which we had when supposedly the Bank of Japan intervened. And now we're seeing a little correction back down here. So look, we're testing this. We're seeing a decline just because the US dollar is drifting lower, but it's not that the Japanese yen is currently on the stronger side or something like that. No, it's just the weakness of the US dollar. But something tells me that maybe this pair could reverse because maybe even though the US dollar could be drifting lower, maybe this pair would actually push higher just because that the Japanese yen would still be weaker than the US dollar. So just kind of consider that scenario as well, guys. But look, I'll get more comfortable with that upside scenario if we do push above the 150.16 territory right here, and then we'll take it from there. USDCAD, very quickly on that one. So we're drifting back below this territory, and what I said to you, that if we do fall back below this downside line, I will start getting comfortable with the downside. Look, the daily candle is still forming, so maybe it's maybe it's gonna drift back up again. Maybe again we have the numbers coming out from the US today, so just kind of be cautious with that. Oh, Bursa Big Bull, thank you for your daily analysis, really helps. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the kind words. I really appreciate that. And honestly, when I hear something like that, then or when I see something like that, like these comments, it makes me kind of feel that that I'm doing something good, So not to kind of elevate my self-esteem and like for me to start thinking how awesome I am. No, of course not. No, I'm a little bit more modest, or or what's the other word for that? I can't remember. But anyway, like I'm a little bit more shy in that sense. So if something like this, if you're finding these videos useful, I'm very happy about that, honestly, because that's the whole point. I mean, in general, these videos are not here to tell you, oh, you need to enter here or buy here or sell here. No, this is just, like I said, we are trying to figure out where the probability is, like where it could potentially go. Where I'm trying to look at different scenarios, I'm trying to look at here and there, but you eventually pull the trigger. You are the ones who pull the trigger, so you're deciding what to do. So I cannot really say to you that from here I can only say that, look, I'm a little bit more bullish or a little bit more bearish, but history showed me that you can think that you're right, and in a way you could be right, and most of the time probably you are right. What's the most important is the when you enter, the timing, and your risk tolerance, because again, every single time when you enter a trade, guys, you have to think about it. Oh, how can I get out of it now? Not about profits, not about anything else. You enter the trade and you need to think, how can I get out of it? Or another thing is that not only that, how can I get out of it? Or if it goes a little bit against me, how much it can go against me? Where's my risk tolerance in that side? So like how much I can afford to lose. So basically that's very, very important. And as you can see here, I've drawn this upside line, short-term one drawn from the low of the 11th of October. So if we do clear that one, this could be like that extra confirmation for some further declines. But in general, I'm already targeting the downside. US dollar against the Swiss franc. Look, this 0.89 territory flirting with that. And look how well the downside line drawn from the high of the 3rd of October is playing out. So it's kind of really doing a good job here. I'm still targeting the downside. As long as we remain below the 0.89 territory, then yes, I will go further south. If we do drop below that and stay below it, then yes, I'll go further south. Where exactly? Well, I think that the first target must be somewhere around here, near this hurdle, near this territory, near the 0.8833 zone, approximately around here. So probably this arrow needs to be drawn this way. Look, that's my game plan. I want to see a move above that area, below that area. For the upside, I would start looking at, this is where I need to adjust. For the upside, I will start looking at this little territory right here, this 0.8955 territory. If we do pop above it, then yes, I'll go higher. GBPJPY, there we go. We're getting a test of the upper side of the this range. I talked about this, so for now, the same game plan is valid. I need to see a clearance. I need to see an exit out of this range in order to consider the next short-term directional move. At this point, we're near the upper side, so maybe we could go for that higher high. Let's wait and see. GBPUSD. Oh, by the way, in terms of economic data from the UK, by the way, we got some numbers, some job numbers. So basically, unemployment rate improved in UK, 4.2. Employment change, yes, also improved. So in general, good numbers from UK. We also have later on the preliminary manufacturing services, PMI numbers, and composite, of course. So keep your eyes on that later on from UK. But so far, look, we're pushing higher. And at this point, as long as we remain above this downside line, my next target is the 50-day EMA, together with this 1.2337 territory. Oh, excuse me, just bear with me one moment. Oh, tea always helps. Now, so far, like I said, I am aiming for the upside as long as we remain above this downside line drawn from the high of the 18th of July. If we do fall back below it, I'll take a bit of a neutral stand, but I'll start already considering maybe a lower move if we do drop below the 1.2122 territory right there. EURJPY, we're falling again below this 0.87 territory. If we stay below it, yes, I will consider a larger correction here to the downside, potentially aiming for this upside line drawn from the low of the 23rd of August. If we somehow climb back above this 0.87 territory, then yes, I would say another push higher here could be possible, and we could aim for that. We could aim for this barrier right here, the 0.8741. And then we'll see how we go further. And certainly, like I said, maybe we'll clear this. We'll go for a higher high, so that's even better. But let's not rush into things. First, let's see what's going to happen here with this 0.87 territory, if we're going to stay above it or not. EURJPY. Mission accomplished. Fantastic result. 159.77 territory got reached. I was aiming for that one. That's the highest point of August. That was the highest point of this year. Now we've created a new highest point for this year. So in a way, If we stay above this previous highest point of the year, then yes, I will continue targeting the upside, guys. So yep, then I will target something like 160, or actually we're not far from there, 161. I'm gonna go for these nice beautiful numbers like 160, 161, 162, and so on and so on. In between them, I'll also go for the halves as well, so 160.5, 161.5, 162.5 as well. So I like these numbers, so I will aim for those. But again, that's in terms of the upside. In terms of the downside, a drop back below the 158.53 territory could do the trick here for a few more sellers. And finally, EURUSD, guys. Yes, fantastic. Fantastic. I talked about this and I said to you, watch out for this highlighted zone. And in general, keep your eyes after we broke the downside line. Look, I talked about this last week as well. I said that if we break and stay above this downside line, great. This increases the chances for a further move north, but probably more buyers could join in on a pop above the 1.06, above this territory between the 1.063540 zone. And yes, we cleared that. We also pushed above the 50-day EMA, so that's all playing out nicely. So yep, my next target here will be this 100-day EMA together with the 200-day EMA, and also this 1.0766 territory right here. Good potential target, has been a good area of support and resistance. So yes, that's what I'm going to be targeting. This upside line needs to go. In terms of the downside, a break below this upside line drawn from the low of the 3rd of October could do the trick here for a few more sellers. And yes, if we do clear this upside line, then yes, more sellers here could join in, potentially targeting the 1.0515 territory, and then we'll go from there, guys. So that's it for this session. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, your views, your likes, your comments, everything, guys. Or actually not likes, rocket ships there. Yes, so I hope you found it useful. And I hope, yes, you didn't really waste too much of your time. But thank you very much for tuning in, watching this one till the end. Thank you very much for those who are watching this session as recorded. And also I really appreciate that, so that really helps. So yes, if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a beautiful trading session. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, don't risk what you cannot afford to lose, don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. If you want to continue to please the trading gods, subscribe to our channel for a blessing.